I was really impressed from the beginning. What I completely failed to realize before we started working together is how much the practice marketing game has changed, how much you guys have evolved it and changed it, it seems to me, in terms of the way you reach out to people, the kinds of questions that you ask, the way you structure it. Particularly, I was impressed by the way you structured the information for the buyer. So they weren't wasting your time. By the time they reached out, they already had a pretty good feel for what the practice was about, a pretty good feel for what they were getting into. And by the time you contacted me about it, I felt like it was a pretty well-organized process. And you didn't waste my time by getting me to talk to a bunch of people to be serious about it. I didn't get a lot of tire kickers. And I did with the other guy. So it was a much different experience working with progressive practice sales. It was a much more organized experience. It was a much more, like I say, technologically advanced. The forms were all online. The feedback was all online. Everything was very well put together so that I got a feeling that, okay, this might work. Can't be easy. I see a lot of practices on the market, price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, and I was glad that I never had to do that, which I attribute to your expertise, actually. It made the difference, in my opinion, working with you guys as opposed to my previous experience was you really do have a team. It was very well structured in terms of who I talked to at which time, which person led me through which part of the process, instead of basically one guy trying to do everything, or one guy with an assistant essentially trying to do everything. So I appreciated that. And Crystal at closing was really professional, very bright lady, very well articulate, and I enjoyed working with her a lot. So it was a good experience all the way around. But I liked the fact that you had a team and that certain people had different roles, and those people did their roles very well in all facets as far as I was concerned. I don't know all the options that are out there, to be frank. I hit the jackpot on the second one. So I think you did a great job. I think you hustled. I got a feeling that things were always happening, though they don't happen fast. It's a process. So you might not hear anything for a month or two, but during that time I would get teasers and contacts to know that things were progressing. I just wasn't, the right buyer hadn't been found yet. So that was meaningful to me too, to not feel like I was just hanging out there. Like I had that experience before too, where it's like I hadn't heard anything for a month and you have no idea whether anything's actually happening or not. So it's good to kind of keep that contact going during the process, so you get a feeling that people are looking, even if otherwise you wouldn't even know if they're not being, if they're not signing a non-disclosure and not reaching out to me directly. I wouldn't know that anything's happening. So it's good to get some contacts along the way about that. I think, just quite frankly, you did a great job. I'm very pleased. My buyers are excellent. We get along great. I'm actually still working with them. And I'm very, very happy with the buyers, very happy with the process, very happy with the way it turned out for me. I couldn't be in a better place. I would encourage anybody or any young buyer who can to develop a good relationship with the person who sell it to you. They can be your best asset. They know the people. They can build you up. They can give you a heartfelt endorsement of this is the guy you want to see, and it will really help the young doc take over the practice without feeling like they're just on their own. I found progressive practice sales to be really well organized and very technologically up to date. Crystal was exceptional in the closing process. She really reached out to me, and once that they had found a buyer and did a really good job of pulling that very difficult and confusing time to weave our information together to help us get to close. I was delighted with that. In fact, the whole team was excellent. Everybody along the way was really good at keeping me up to date in the process, even though it took a little bit of time because it is a complicated process. But they did a really good job of keeping me in the loop and then pulling it together at close. So I was very happy with the outcome. The whole experience with progressive practice sales was a pretty flawless experience for me. It went very well. I was happy with the whole process, happy with the outcome, happy with the team.